Now, let's understand the casting process in greater detail. As I told earlier, a mold is an equipment of casting process, just like the ice tray is for ice making. So for preparing this component, preparing this equipment, first we need a pattern, which is almost like a duplicate or a replica of the desired shape, of the required shape. So this pattern is placed inside a flask, as you can see here, and sand is then poured over it, followed by ramming, so that the sand can tightly spaced inside the flask. Secondly, the entire setup is inverted and the pattern is removed, leaving behind a cavity which will be filled by the molten metal in the coming steps. The same process is done again, and adding to flask, we get the desired replica of the shape that is required. So basically we are using two flasks, carrying on the same process of ramming, same process of putting sand, and same process of taking out the pattern. Now you will ask, doesn't sand stick to the pattern? Yeah, sand will stick, but for the same, a parting powder is applied over the pattern so that when we are removing the pattern, sand will not stick to it and it will not break the mold or destroy the mold. As you can see here, the two flasks constitutes a complete mold. This is your casting equipment. And in this mold, the upper flask is known as the cope, the bottom flask is known as the drag, and the line in between is known as the parting line. Now, for pouring the molten metal, you need to provide some passage, and that passage is nothing but the gating system of casting process. For that, holes are made. The three basic components of a gating system is the pouring basin, sprue, and the runner, as you can see here, which in turn connects the cavity with the atmosphere. Also, to counter certain allowances like the pattern allowances, the shrinkage allowances, solidification, we need to provide certain reservoir so that if the metal after solidification shrinks, it can again provide molten metal to counter the shrinkages. So this reservoir is known as the riser, and this is your complete setup for a casting process. As you can see here, these are the basic terminologies in a casting. These are the casting elements: sprue, chaplet, molding box, pattern, course, riser, and runner. So this constitutes the complete casting equipment. We are going to discuss about each and every casting components, casting elements in greater detail in the coming lectures.